You just listened to...
Hi, my name is Karen Etter, and you're listening to CHMA.
The time is 9 o'clock, and you are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
I'm Mike Robar, and this is your local CHMA News. Today, Tantramar Council agreed last month to put out a tender for a new accessible elevator in the Tantramar Veterans Memorial Civic Centre. But first, after weeks of campaigning and raising awareness, the Stop the Tantramar Gas Plant Facebook group announced last night that their federal petition is being presented in the House of Commons today by Green Party leader Elizabeth May. Kristen Nicole LeBlanc, who posted the announcement, said she had received confirmation that the petition had been moved to the top of the presentation list and, barring any procedural delays, would be presented around 11 a.m. Anyone looking for details or a direct link to the proceedings can head to the group's Facebook page. And the municipality of Tantramar is accepting proposals for 2 artists in residence until Friday, March 27th. The first, for the Waterfowl Park and/or Visitor Center, is open to an artist of any age or stage of their career. The second, for an emerging artist, is restricted to those 18 years old and younger. The residency lengths can vary, but must fall between June 1st and September 30th of this year. The proposed length should be included in submissions, along with photos of samples of the artist's work and supporting documents. For more information, head to tantramarnb.com. And now, your feature story. A tender is forthcoming on the design and installation of an accessible elevator in the Tantramar Veterans Memorial Civic Centre. The motion for the tender, put forth by Councillor Barry Hicks, was passed unanimously at last month's council meeting held on February 10th. Prior to the motion, during public presentations, Tantramar resident Megan Hicks told council that, with over 35% of New Brunswickers living with disabilities, the lack of an accessible elevator at the centre was a failure to uphold the fundamental rights of residents.
We cannot call a building a civic centre if a portion of that community is physically barred from its upper or lower levels. We cannot call it a muster station if it cannot safely and with dignity accommodate every citizen during an emergency.
The issuing of a tender means the municipality will put out a request for qualified, interested suppliers to submit bids. Council will then still have to vote on which bid to accept. The municipality would also have to figure out where the money would come from, as it was not part of the 2026 budget. The budget does contain funds allocated for upgrades to the Civic Centre, like a new condenser for $125,000, and Zamboni area improvements totaling $15,000. But Hicks took some issue with what she felt were only cosmetic changes.
While the budget finds $115,000 for murals and flooring, these aesthetic choices cannot take priority over basic access. Prioritizing aesthetics over inclusion is by definition discriminatory. The New Brunswick Accessibility Act mandates a barrier-free province by 2040, with municipal plans required by 2030. We can be leaders who achieve this early, or we can wait for the inevitable penalties and human rights violations that come with non-compliance. There have been talks around achieving age-friendly community recognition here. To receive this status, we must prove that our public buildings are pleasant, safe, and above all, accessible.
The elevator has been a recurring topic at council meetings for the last few months, but this was the first time a motion was put forward. In proposing the motion, which says the tender is to be called no later than March 31st, Councillor Hicks said the elevator should have been installed when the Civic Centre was first constructed over 20 years ago.
Yes, I think it is time for an elevator to be put in there. It should have been there, in my opinion, when the building was built, but it wasn't. It's an afterthought, and same with the seats. They should have been there when it was built, but they weren't. So now we have to look forward to get in.
At the end of last year, councillors asked Matt Pride, Director of Active Living and Culture, to look into what it would take to get one installed. Then, last month, during a Committee of the Whole meeting on February 2nd, Pride told Council that staff had met with an engineering firm and had received an estimate of around $750,000 to install the elevator. During her presentation, Hicks said she had spoken with a contractor on her own who gave a very different, much cheaper estimate of between $50,000 and $300,000, prompting her to call for transparency and a good faith exploration of options. In final remarks from councillors, Councillor Michael Tower asked that the tender reflect this discrepancy.
I would like to make sure that the tender gives us options on building it. Not one we say, okay, this is what it's got to be and it's got to be outside, but to have them design and bid on it or tender the build of it so that we have options either outside, inside, or whatever, just to make sure there's a variance, knowing what Mr. Pride came up with because of the consultant, and then we got one from Megan saying the other side, so I think it's good to have those spectrums looked at.
As always, head to chmafm.com to follow this and other stories from your community. And if you have any news tips or ideas, email news@chmafm.com. I'm Mike Robar with your local CHMA news from Tantramar.
CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And here is your CHMA Atlantic update. The New Brunswick government says a chemical spill on the Trans-Canada Highway south of downtown Fredericton poses a very low risk to human health. As well, officials say the spill near the Lincoln Heights neighborhood has not affected the city's water supply, though testing in the area continued yesterday, 3 days after the spill was reported. As a precaution, a car wash was set up on Allison Boulevard to clean vehicles that traveled on the affected section of the highway between Wednesday and Friday of last week. The government issued a statement saying the spilled material includes a chemical known as hexavalent chromium, which officials say does not increase one's cancer risk if exposure is brief. Still, the government says anyone experiencing skin, eye, or respiratory irritation should seek medical advice or call telecare at 811. The utility in charge of the water supply in the Halifax area is investigating what it calls unauthorized access to information on its online portal for customers. Halifax Water says it shut down the portal on Friday, saying there was no indication that financial information was put at risk. The utility says that if any customers receive a call from someone claiming to be with Halifax Water, they should hang up and call back using the phone number listed on its official website. Halifax Water says it is not contacting customers regarding the incident. The sprawling International Lounge inside the Gander Airport in central Newfoundland has been officially recognized as a heritage structure. The Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador says the lounge, opened in 1959, is an iconic time capsule showcasing modernist architecture and art. In the 1960s, the airport served as a key refueling stop for passenger jets traveling to and from Europe, earning it the nickname Crossroads of the World. In its heyday, it routinely welcomed world leaders, Hollywood actors, Soviet defectors, and scores of well-heeled jet-setters. Police in Central PEI are investigating a snowmobile crash that claimed the life of a 53-year-old man. Queens District RCMP say the man was riding the machine Saturday on the Confederation Trail near Route 15 in Brackley when the snowmobile left the trail and hit a tree. The Mounties did not release the man's name, but they confirmed he was from Charlottetown. A cheerleading squad based in Newfoundland is headed to Florida to defend its World Championship title. Coastal Wave Elite is the province's first special abilities cheerleading team. The team is expected to compete at the ICU World Cheerleading Championships next month in Orlando. Some residents of an 18-unit apartment building in western PEI had to be treated in hospital for smoke inhalation after a fire broke out in the Summerside building on Saturday night. The Summerside Fire Department was dispatched to Crosby's Waterview Apartments on Water Street after a fire alarm was triggered around 11:30 p.m. All 18 apartments were evacuated and the fire was extinguished by 1 a.m. The Canadian Red Cross was called in to help residents displaced by the fire, and the province's fire marshal is investigating the cause of the blaze. And that has been your CHMA Atlantic Update.
Hey, this is Aiko, and you're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
Last night in the NHL, 5 games to tell you about, beginning with an early one against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was the Los Angeles Kings winning in overtime, 5-4 final there. The New York Rangers all over the Philadelphia Flyers in Old Patrick division battle, 6-2 final. Flames lose again. They get defeated by the Washington Capitals 7-3 in D.C. In overtime, it was Chicago defeating Utah at the United Center in Illinois. And finally, the Ottawa Senators shut out the Vancouver Canucks in the Lower Mainland. 2-0 final there. In the NBA last night, the marquee matchup, of course, was the Oklahoma City Thunder defeating the Denver Chicken Nuggets 129-126 in a close battle. The Los Angeles Clippers, they defeat the visiting New York Knicks 126-118 to even their record on 32-32 on the season. Jazz hold on to defeat the visiting Golden State Warriors 119-116. Brooklyn Nets with an 11-point victory over the Memphis Grizzlies, and 2 teams going nowhere, 126-115. And finally, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers recording their 40th victory of the season, a 115-101 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. And men's college basketball south of the border, 2 more teams punched their tickets to be participants in March Madness, winning the Sun Belt Conference Championship. It was the Troy Trojans with the 77-61 victory over Georgia Southern, stopping Georgia Southern's 5-game winning streak. And in the other one, it was the Furman Paladins advancing in the Southern Conference. They defeated the East Tennessee State Buccaneers. In the World Baseball Classic yesterday, it was Colombia defeating Panama 4-3. Dominican Republic, they stay undefeated with a 10-1 victory over Israel. Korea evens up their record with a 7-2 victory over Australia. Great Britain keeps Brazil winless with an 8-1 victory. Puerto Rico remains undefeated with a 4-1 victory over Cuba. Venezuela shuts out Nicaragua, keeping them winless in the pool play division. And finally, it was the United States defeating Mexico 5-3 final there. U.S. is undefeated. Coming up tonight, Tantramar Veterans Memorial Civic Center, the place to be for the 5:30 puck drop. It's playoff hockey for the Tantramar Regional High School boys squad. They're going up against polyvalent Louis Malo.
And that's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Please be sure to check out Brian's show on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. for more sports commentary.
This is Jack from Radio Laurier, and you're listening to CHMA.
Hey folks, if you're looking for a relaxed way to start your weekend, join the Morning Comic Club, an introduction to paid transparency happening on Saturday, March 14th in Sackville. You can drop by at Cranewood from 10 to 11 a.m. for a casual read and chat. There is no prep or prior knowledge needed. You can simply grab a coffee and join the conversation. This is a free event in partnership with Mount Allison University's Feminist and Gender Studies program. Coffee and pastries are provided and everyone is welcome.
CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
Hey folks, if you're looking to strengthen your grant writing skills, join Grants 101, a practical interactive workshop for non-profit organizations. This is happening on Sunday, March 15th at Mount Wortley Community Hall from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn the full grant process from defining your purpose to building strong proposals, realistic budgets, and funder relationships. Participants will leave with practical tips and resources that they can use right away. You can register now at tantramarnb.com/programs.
And that was your CHMA News. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramara's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com. Here at CHMA, we're very happy to introduce the CHMA Atlantic Update, news from the Canadian press delivered directly to you weekdays at 8 a.m., 12 and 5 p.m. by your very own CHMA host. These are the most recent stories from trusted journalists and news agencies across the Atlantic provinces, updated daily. Again, that is 8 a.m., 12 and 5 p.m. weekdays.
Hey guys, you are in fact listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, voice of the Marshes. I'm Mai Noel, and you are listening to the Late Morning Show. We got some music for you today, so we're just going to jump right in. First up, we have Daisy Cutter by Ori and Dyson by Common Holly.
Tell me every time you need me, you just have to call. Say, baby, I need. Baby, every time you call, you know I'll be gone before you drop the phone. Tell me every time you need me, you just have to call. Say, baby, I need. Baby, every time you call, you know I'll be gone before you drop the phone. Baby, tell me every time you need me, you just have to call. Say, baby, I need. Baby, every time you call, you know I'll be gone before you drop the phone. Tell me every time you need me, you just have to call. Say, baby, I need. Baby, every time you call, you know I'll be gone before you drop the phone. Tell me every time you need me, you just have to call. Say, baby, I need. Baby, every time you call, you know I'll be gone before you drop the phone. Tell me every time you need me, you just have to call. Say, baby, I need. Baby, every time you call, you know I'll be gone before you drop the phone. horizon, waiting at the window. I don't wanna miss it. I got a dusty house, live on a major street. There's a lot of traffic. If you listen, you can hear it. If you listen, you can hear it. SAAQ, just waiting for my license, waiting for permission. I don't wanna miss it. I got a place to be. Hope someone can help me. The jingle of bureaucracy. If you listen, you can hear it. If you listen, you can hear it. Hallelujah. Just waiting for a good end. Waiting for my godsend. Don't wanna miss it. If it never comes my way, I'll come back the next day. See about the mystery. If you listen, you can hear it. If you listen, you can hear it.
You just listened to Dyson by Common Holly on CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, Voice of the Marshes. I'm Maya Noel, and this is the Late Morning Show, and we also listened to Daisy Cutter by Ori. Next up, we have Serenade with I Miss How She Used to Look at Me, and then we're going to listen to Potion Seller by Synthetic Friend. That was Potion Seller by Synthetic Friend on CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, voice of the marshes. I'm Maya Noel, and you've been listening to the Late Morning Show. We also listened to I Miss How She Used to Look at Me by Serenade. We're coming to the end of the Late Morning Show, so we're going to send you away with one last song. We've got Kieran Campbell with Act Your Age. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Feeling so down, I got a stone in my shoe. Saying my prayers, but I don't know for who. Sometimes at night, when the chilly winds blow, I think of the time we got stuck in the snow. I think of you still, though I ain't better and nothing has changed, except for my drinking and your last name. And if I should see you one of these days, I hope you pretend that you don't know my face. I wish I was better on stage. I wish I could act your age, but I'm stuck on the drinking, bottles my cage. I wish I could act your age. No, what a shame that it ain't like before. The heart on my sleeve just bleeds on the floor. Sometimes I miss you, but sometimes I don't. I know I could call you, but I know I won't. I wish I was better on stage. I wish I could act your age, but I'm stuck on the drinking, bottles my cage. I wish I could act your age.
Join host Vish Khanna every Sunday at 10 p.m. for Creative Control, a show about music, culture, and more. Vish has a number of questions for interesting people who provide a number of answers. Musicians, comedians, writers, politicians, athletes, and more are featured on this regularly scheduled podcast. Tune in Sundays at 10 p.m. for Creative Control on CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.